from, and we will get started. Can I ask you, I will turn off my video in a sec as well. Actually, I'll do it right now. Can I ask you to also turn off your videos? We don't really need them today, and it just helps everyone with bandwidth. And given that my internet just decided to drop out for no particular reason, I think it might be a good idea to do that. So you can all, hello Deb, hello Katie, hi Melia, hi Susanna, hi Sarah, Diane's here, woohoo, awesome. I'm going to, we are recording, we're recording, hang on, I'm just going to check the recording's running before I get into it. I don't think it is, I'm just kidding. Oh, okay. No worries. Okay, good. We're recording. Excellent. It's not showing that on my screen. I don't know why. What's going on? Okay, we're recording. Welcome, everybody. This is Stop Sabotaging Your Business. Hey, Georgie. So lovely to see you all. Very cool. Okay, so we've turned off microphones, your microphones, not mine. We've turned off all our cameras. Let's get started. And if you're watching on the recording, hi, I'm really glad you made the time. You will be so, so pleased that you did. Okay, so this is Stop Sabotaging Your Business. I'm Miriam Castilla. And if you don't know too much about me, I'm a manifesting mentor. I work with women in business, and I'm all about helping you achieve a state of abundance, both inside and out, because that's what abundance is. It's a state of being. And I'm really, really passionate about helping women embrace that unlimited potential of theirs, of yours, so that you can achieve a state of inner abundance, inner vibrational stability and alignment with abundance, which means you feel abundant and you're stable in that no matter what's going on outside of you, and also help you achieve that state of outer financial stability. So I do that through a combination of things. I'm a manifesting mentor, I'm a hypnotherapist, and I'm also an ex-finance professional. I don't run that business anymore. We sold it last year. My husband was running it for the last few years, and it was just time to let it go. And I find that this is how I can help people with their money a whole lot more, because it's an inside out job, and abundance really truly is a state of being. So today you're in the right place if you want to grow your business, but it feels somehow like you're driving with the brakes on. And you really do know and feel that you should be much further ahead by now than you are. And you just know, this can be easier, but you can't quite seem to put your finger on it. You can't quite seem to nail it, right? Because the money's never enough. And that's irrespective of your level of income. It just still doesn't feel like it's ever enough. And you realize that you're resisting doing what you know you should be doing to help yourself. You've tried it from all angles, but it kind of seems to be this invisible block. So let me know in the chat box which one of those resonates the most with you. I know some of you are going to say all of the above, but which one's really the thorn in your side? Because I want you to tap into that. You need to tap into some of the pain sometimes to motivate you to do something about it. And I'm going to tell you and give you steps for doing something about it today. And it's just really, really important that you decide that it's worth it, that it's worth making that little bit of an effort, that extra investment of time and energy to move forward. And tell me why it shits you. Why does it shit you so much? Why is it such a thorn in your side? And I'm going to take a quick sip from my cup of tea while you're typing, because I've got a little tickle in my throat. So I want to keep it nice and warm. Sarah says, resisting doing what I know I should be doing. Jackie says all of them. Diane says, invisible blocks. Very frustrating, right? When you go, And Diane also says, I can feel it, but I don't know how to address it. And Sarah says, yeah, it should be easy by now, and I don't know why it's so freaking hard. Sorry, you didn't say freaking, but I did. And Jackie says, yep, feels like I'm driving with the brakes on, resisting what I should be doing. Will there be a recording? Absolutely. We are recording, and it'll be sent out. So you can watch all of this back, because there'll be lots of notes to take. So quite a few of them, and pretty much all of the above. Good. I want you to really tap into that and take a moment to think about, why is this such an issue? And if that wasn't the case, what would be possible for you? Just take a moment to entertain that. because today we're going to talk about why you're really sabotaging your business, how to break out of the cycle, and we're going to take the critical first step to helping your business grow. I'm also going to let you know more about the 14-day Clear Your Money Blocks intensive with me. That's starting shortly. I'll do that at the end of the training. And I will be drawing the names of 2 winners who are going to join me on that intensive for free. And that is valued at $199 US. So that's super duper cool. Okay, so I asked ahead of this training, and thank you to all of those who responded and shared, what does sabotage look like for you? And here's some of your replies. Hiding your light, a lack of confidence, underselling your value, and treating your business more as a hobby than a business is what Susanna shared. Thank you, Susanna, for sharing. Jane talks about telling herself that she can't afford it, second guessing what you charge, and just feeling uncomfortable about the whole money side of business to begin with. And then it was, start all of the things and I finish none of them. And then there was procrastination, not believing that you know enough. Whoever feels like that, not believing that you know enough. I know in my work with money and women in business and as a hypnotherapist, whether it's in groups or one-on-one, I don't know enough, I'm not good enough, it's not enough on some level, that's a huge one. That just keeps showing up over and over and over again. Not following up leads or current customers, not tracking income because there's way too much emotion attached around it, or just generally noticing that you believe that you can't do it on some level, even though you're actually doing it, but still noticing that there is some weird belief and some weird thought in the back of your mind that says, I can't do this. Or just as simple as putting things off over and over again and procrastinating, or starting well and going, wow, this all works, and then just somehow managing to talk yourself out of it and stopping doing all the stuff that was working and suddenly just feeling totally overwhelmed, right? Yeah, fear associated with tracking income definitely resonates, says Lachelle. For Leanne, it's a biggie, I don't know enough. Yep. Whereas it's that we can learn more, though we already know more than someone else who isn't us. Absolutely. And, we've all seen it. So many women in business who just go and get certification and qualification, one after another. And it's like, when's it going to be enough, right? When's it going to be enough? So this sabotage thing, it's a whole bunch of stuff, right? It's all these different things for different people. And then even for them, it looks a bit different on different days and depending on their circumstances. And when you look at it like that, it all looks pretty overwhelming, like all these separate behaviors with a whole lot of possible separate approaches and solutions to try and change them, right? And that is overwhelming and confusing because you kind of go, crap, where do we start? Like, we're going to be here forever. But this is so much simpler than it seems. And that's what I want to show you today. So don't get all caught up and overwhelmed by the detail, because when you look more closely, you'll see a pattern. And the most important part of that pattern is not what you're doing to sabotage your business. It's that it's keeping you stuck in the same old place. So whenever you do see a pattern, the question you actually want to ask yourself is, okay, there's a pattern, but what's the end result? Because the end result is always the same. It's always a really helpful thing in life to zoom out and take a higher view, because then you can see more clearly. You can see what's really going on. You can see the bigger picture. You can become the observer and see things that you couldn't see when you were stuck down in the detail. So let me ask you, what's the ultimate end result of all these individual behaviors, all these little ways that you're sabotaging your business, all the different thoughts, beliefs, and actions and lack of actions that you keep exhibiting? Well, the main end result is that it's the same financial pattern, because what's business all about? Business is all about profit. It's all about money, right? And yeah, Leanne just says that's why a coach is such a useful tool for everybody, because Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't matter if you're a coach or not. We are our own limitation. We can't see the bigger picture so easily unless someone grabs us by the scruff of the neck and pulls us up to the higher perspective and says, here, have a look from here. You'll see things differently. So business is all about profit. It's all about money, right? That's the difference between a hobby or a charity and a business. It's profit. So the net result of all this sabotage on your financial situation, you'll find is the same over and over again. It's keeping you stuck in the same financial pattern where money is never enough, it doesn't last, or it just keeps disappearing after it's shown up. So that's really how and why all this sabotage is going on, right? You're coming up with behaviors so that you stay stuck in it and end up in the same old financial pattern. And I call this financial pattern your money habit archetype. And there's actually only 3 of them when you zoom right out to the macro perspective. So what that means is that all of these complex little behaviors, all these different day-to-day things, they can be condensed down into really just 3 financial patterns that occur as a result of these behaviors. Now, you may or may not be familiar with them. I'm just going to quickly run through them. The first one is the accumulator, and that's generally the person who always manages to tuck some money away. They're always planning for contingencies. That's how they're wired, right? The second one is the spender, and they're the person where all the money that comes in always goes out again. They're very much living payday to payday, and it's just how they do life, right? And then the third one is the overextender, and they're the person who seems to always be sliding backwards financially. Now, it's really interesting when you look at this to start off by looking at other people, right? Because like we just said, it's so easy to see other people's stuff. It's so easy. So have a think about your parents. Accumulator, spender, or overextender. Which do you think your parents were? Just what pops straight into the top of your head, right? So for me, my mum is the epitome of the accumulator. You know, my mum went through a really hard time after my parents split up. She had to work for $5 an hour in a commercial laundry at one stage. She still managed to buy a unit and pay it off, and then upgrade to a much nicer townhouse down near the beach and by the lake. And she has no mortgage. Now, my dad is the absolute opposite. He was the total opposite. He was a total overextender. So we moved to Australia in the 80s, and my dad was a diplomat. And this was before my parents split up when we moved here. And he was on high 6-figure income back in the 80s, tax-free. And yet when he passed away, he died with debt. He died leaving nothing but debt, and I got 0 inheritance. Luckily, I didn't inherit his debt. So, you know, the thing is, and what my parents' story very strongly illustrates, is these patterns, these money habit archetypes. It's really critical that you understand that your level of income is irrelevant because it's a pattern, and the pattern will play itself out no matter what level of income. In fact, what actually happens is when you have more money, the pattern amplifies. And this happened to me when I started out, you know, on my little journey into learning how to align with abundance on the inside so I could actually have financial stability on the outside. I got to a stage where I was making $10,000 a month in my business. And I thought, wow, awesome, I've arrived. This is all I've ever dreamt about. But my bills increased as well because I had a spender pattern going. All the money that came in used to just disappear again. Maybe I found the happy middle ground between my parents. I don't know. But my bills increased. And so even though I was making more money because I tapped into law of attraction and, you know, I'd really grown my business, I still was no better off. I was working harder, I was making more money, and nothing changed. And I see the same thing in magnetic money. People with great income still feel really stressed about money. And the thing with that is that they suffer in silence, because when you're actually making a reasonable income, there's so much shame associated with the fact that you may still not feel like everything's okay. And even in Gay Hendricks' book, I don't know if you've read The Big Leap, but he tells a story of one of his clients who was like, I think, a billionaire, not just a multi-millionaire, but a billionaire. And this man used to argue with his wife about the toilet paper she bought, saying it was too expensive. Now, he was a billionaire, and his net worth used to fluctuate by hundreds of millions on a daily basis because of his investments fluctuating on the stock market. And yet he argued about the toilet paper. So the level of income is irrelevant. You can be making $1 gazillion and still feel like it's not enough, and still feel like you need to keep accumulating. Or you could be making $1 gazillion and manage to spend all of it. So I'm loving seeing all these comments in the chat box where you're starting to look at the people in your life and recognizing their patterns. That's really, really important that you start there, because it's always easier to see other people's stuff, right? And that's a beautiful, beautiful starting point. So your level of income is irrelevant. And those patterns, they're driven by an unconscious program. And that's very, very important to understand, because patterns of behavior are just habits. They're habits that you get into based on an unconscious program that's running over and over and over again. That's what a habit is. A habit is an unconscious program in your nervous system. So this unconscious thing can be a bit of an issue, right? Because what it means is all of this stuff is happening without you even being aware of it, without you having any conscious awareness about it. And it happens lightning fast, like that. So your unconscious is firing the whole time. There's decisions being made, thoughts being thought, emotions being felt, actions being taken, often without you having the time to kind of stop and think and reset. And 98% of everything that's going on for you is run by your unconscious mind. Your unconscious mind is an amazing, amazing tool, but it takes over. And it means that if there's something running unconsciously that you're not so happy about, it's going to get very challenging, because trying to fight that, you honestly don't stand a chance. And that's where most people get stuck. They try to fight all these unconscious patterns. They try to willpower. They try to, set good intentions, get an accountability buddy. Then they never talk to that poor person again because they're so embarrassed that they never kept up their end of the deal, because they're trying to fight an unconscious pattern at the conscious level. It's David versus Goliath, except the ending of the story is not the same as it is in the David versus Goliath story, right? It's 2% trying to fight the 98%. And that's the thing, you're on autopilot 98% of the time, which means that your habits are running you, and they're making sure that you always get to your programmed destination. That program, that unconscious program, that is your destination, right? And your habits are running you. They're running on autopilot to make sure you end up in that same place. So when you've got an autopilot set, deviations must be corrected. Okay, just like an autopilot on a plane. There might be turbulence, there might be wind currents, there might be headwind, and the autopilot just does what it needs to do, adjusting the flaps and the wings and the throttle and whatever to put you back on course, because you've been programmed with the destination being whatever that wiring says is your outcome, is your financial outcome. So what that means is you can start thinking about this a bit differently. Rather than thinking about it as sabotage, just start recognizing that what it really is, it's a course correction. And that's why you're sabotaging your business, because unconsciously, you're trying to keep your reality stable and keep it a match to your unconscious program, because it always has to be a match. Whatever you believe at the unconscious level to be true, you will do what needs to be done to make it so. That's to stop you from going nuts and from you having like this existential crisis where your reality doesn't match your picture of reality. So what's actually going on with all these sabotaging patterns is that it's a correction. It's a course correction. And that is why, even though you know what to do, you're still not doing it, because your unconscious autopilot kicks in with constant corrections to keep you on course to the programmed end result. That's why willpower, trying to use law of attraction and hard work still haven't made a difference, because they're not overriding the program. Okay? So it's key that you understand that you want to stop trying to fight the program, because that's where people wear themselves out. They stay stuck in the same pattern for years and years. Their business doesn't grow. And eventually, you know, the worst that can happen is that they give up and they think that it's not meant to be and that they're not good enough. Because you can never outperform your own self-image. So instead of trying to fight the program that's been installed, what you want to do instead is override that program. Create a new self-image so that the outcome that you do want is a match to the new self-image, so that the program matches what you want. Because right now you say you want this, but your program says something else. Once you have the outcome you want matching the program that's installed, then all the patterns that serve the program will be a match to the outcome you want. And you don't need to make any course corrections. In fact, you will start making course corrections that get you to the outcome you want. You will keep course correcting, but you won't be calling it sabotage anymore. You'll be calling it believing in myself. You'll be calling it doing what I set out to do. You'll be calling it being really organized and in control of my business and my life. You'll call it being confident. You won't call it sabotage anymore, but it's actually the same thing. It's the daily course corrections you make to keep you on track to the end result that is a match to what's been programmed in. So, going to go pop culture reference. One of my favorite movies ever is The Matrix. So hopefully you're familiar with The Matrix. If not, bear with me. Remember in The Matrix, at the beginning, when Neo was given a choice, he could take the blue pill, wake up from the dream and see where the story really goes, the dream that he had been stuck in, the old program. Or he could take the red pill and just go back to sleep, back into that same old program. And your sabotage pattern, it's like that dream, right? It's like a dream where you keep repeating on autopilot and you don't even realize you're in it, because that's what's been programmed into your unconscious. Yeah, and Diane says, been fighting like Muhammad Ali, but not getting anywhere. It's exhausting, and it's because you're trying to fight an unconscious program at the conscious level, and that's just not going to get you very far. In fact, what it actually does is it reinforces the program, because you keep proving to yourself over and over and over again that you can't fight it. That's when you start saying things like, I keep sabotaging myself. I never finish what I started. I keep procrastinating, and you're reinforcing all that stuff all the time. So Neo was given the choice, right? Take the blue pill, wake up from the dream and see where the story goes, or take the red pill, go back to sleep, go straight back into that old program. Now he chose to wake up and realize that what he actually thought he was living was just a dream created by a program. Now, if you've seen the movie, can you remember what they did next? Because they did some really cool stuff. They plugged him in, because they had all the plugs where they could upload literally programs straight into their unconscious. And they uploaded all these cool new programs into his brain, including one that was a Kung Fu training. And he instantly became a Kung Fu ninja because he'd been uploaded with the program, right? Now, I can't help you with Kung Fu, sorry, but I bet you'd love to become a money ninja, right? If you'd like to become a money ninja and be programmed with the Money Ninja program, give me a hashtag Money Ninja in the chat box. I'm going to take a sip of tea. Awesome. Money ninjas. So there are actually 3 simple steps to end self-sabotage so that you can grow your business. You need to recognize that pattern we talked about at the macro level. Lots of money ninjas in the room. Yay. So you need to recognize that pattern at the macro level. You need to zoom out and go, oh my God, there's a pattern going on here and it keeps landing me in the same place. That's step 1. We've already done that. Well, we're actually going to do it. We've done it for your parents, but we're going to do it for you. Number 2 is you need to uncover the program that's driving it. You've got to recognize that there is a program running and start to have some awareness of that. You need to take the pill that wakes you up from the dream. And then once you've done that, once you've taken the pill and you're awake and you realize, no, that was just a program that was running and I can install a new program, then you can override that program at the unconscious level, in the same place where the old program has been running, not trying to fight it in and wedge it in from the conscious down into the unconscious. That's really hard to do. So, and that's why people get stuck. So let's find out, what is your program? So we're going to go back to money habit archetype. Now, this quiz is actually on my website, but we're going to go through it really quickly here, and it'll give you a good idea of what your money habit archetype is. So all I want you to do is have pen and paper ready, or somehow add up. You're just going to add up your responses, whether they're A, B, or C. So question 1, and just go with your first initial gut instinct response. Don't overthink it. At the end of the month, do you usually have some money left over tucked aside, A? Or B, do you find that you've spent every cent that came in? Or is it C, you owe more than you did last month? So most of the time, these days, which one do you end up with? So just take a note, A, B, or C. Next one, thinking back to when you were a kid. Did you A, save your pocket money? Did you B, blow it as soon as it came in? Or did you C, spend your pocket money and your sister's too? Okay, so A, B, or C on that one. Question 3. At night, do you lose sleep over your savings if A, it's not a healthy 5-figure sum? B, only when your savings are starting to run out? Or is it more a case of C, what savings? I don't even know what you're talking about, Miriam. So A, B, or C on that one. Question 4. Okay, let's imagine you get a tax refund or some big windfall. What's the first thing that you're likely to do? A, do you pay off some of your bills and save the rest? Maybe put it on your mortgage or something like that. Do you B, finally book that holiday that you've been dreaming about because it's just the perfect amount? The universe is looking after me, yay! Or do you C, use that money as a down payment on a new car and get a loan for the rest, right? So A, B, or C. And this is the last question. Just having a think about back between your first job and now, do you find that you're in a much stronger financial position these days, which is A? Do you B, live a much better lifestyle, but you still have next to no backup cash? Or do you C, find that your debts have actually grown significantly and you've got very little to show for it? I don't know why well done is there. I'm sorry, I think that's meant to be on the next slide. I'm not saying well done if your debts have grown significantly. I must make a note to change that slide. Okay, so A, B, or C. So add them up, and what you'll find, and this is a starting point, right? And this is a very deep conversation that we can get into. And sometimes people start out thinking they're one habit archetype, but after going through it a bit more deeply with me, they actually find they're another. But it's a start, and you have to start to wake up and really start to notice what's going on. And as you start here, then you can take this awareness with you into your life and keep noticing what's going on, okay? So if you answered mostly A, you're most likely an accumulator. If you answered mostly B, you're most likely a spender. And if you answered mostly C, you're most likely an overextender. So when you look at that, so what have we got? Overextenders, spenders, or accumulators? Let me know. You've moved from overextender to spender. Yay, Sarah. Woohoo! Diane's spoken like a true accumulator. A's all the way, or else I'd go into cardiac arrest. That is an accumulator. And Diane, you know, that is also like that story I told about the billionaire that would argue with his wife over toilet paper, you know, all that money, and he's still worried about the toilet paper. So most people think I just need to be an accumulator and everything will be fine. But again, lots of accumulators still suffer this silent money shame or money stress because there's a whole lot going on behind the scenes. So what I want you to start to become aware of is how all this sabotage we were talking about, it's really just serving one purpose. It's keeping you stuck in those patterns, in those money habit archetype patterns. So what's actually happened is that your archetype has put your business on the hard setting. Because you know what? Procrastination is stressful. Knowing that you've been watching Netflix instead of growing your income is stressful. It makes your life hard. It stresses you out. You beat yourself up over it. You berate yourself. You know, you're not always kind to yourself when you've been doing the wrong things. And then you have to live with and suffer the end result, both internally and externally. But the program is just a story, right? It's just a story. So remember that. So let's talk about stories. What stories were you told when you were growing up? Because it's those stories that you were told growing up that have programmed you into that pattern. So I'm going to just, straight away, Deb, money doesn't grow on trees. See how strong that pattern is in your nervous system, Deb, that the moment, thank you so much for sharing, because it's an amazing example. The moment I said it, what stories were you, I haven't even put the slide up with the examples, but the moment I said it, you knew exactly what that story is that you were programmed with. Money doesn't grow on trees. I heard it so often. I know exactly what it is. And just imagine what's going on at the unconscious level if that's running so prevalently, right? So here's a whole bunch. Let me know which ones of these you really resonate with. You know, maybe just do a count. Like, is it 3 or 4? Or is it like 7 or 8? It takes money to make money. Money doesn't grow on trees. Don't be greedy now. Life sucks and then you die. Oh, must be nice for some. We're not made of money. Money's the root of all evil. Money corrupts. It's a man's world. If it wasn't hard, it wouldn't be worth it. Rich people are bastards. Good things don't last. Oh, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Or be careful what you wish for, and no pain, no gain. Right? Starving kids in Ethiopia. Yes, absolutely. See how you go, oh yeah, I've been getting programmed all my life. All my life I've been getting programmed. So the thing is that when you see these, you instantly go, there it is, there it is. Yep, that's familiar, that's familiar, that's familiar. So all of these are unconscious programs that you've had installed, that you were programmed with without even being aware of it. Because stories are really, really hypnotic. They program you. Stories are one of the best ways. I'm a hypnotherapist. Stories are hypnotic. Stories are a great way of getting information into somebody's unconscious mind. And as human beings, you know, we've been using stories to convey information since the dawn of the ages, sitting around the campfire, telling stories. That's how information used to be passed down. And you've been getting told stories since you were really young. And when you're really young, your unconscious mind is wide open. You don't have a filter to say, that's not true, Mum. Actually, Dad, that's your fear. Actually, that's what happened to you, but it doesn't have to happen to me. So when you're little, your unconscious mind is wide open without a filter. You're completely at the mercy of what you get programmed with. And you get hypnotized by that. You get hypnotized, and those stories sink in at the unconscious level as the program that you then run. So I want this to be your biggest and most important takeaway so far. That ending sabotage to grow your business is actually not about fighting those daily battles. Those daily battles and behaviors that we talked about at the start, the procrastination, the not finishing what you started, all of those things, they're just a symptom. They keep you distracted from the bigger picture, from the program. What it's really about, if you want to grow your business and stop the sabotage, it's not about focusing on all those little daily things. It's about changing the story. It's about changing the story. So what it really takes to end the sabotage and grow your business is you need to understand your archetype. And there are positive aspects in every single one of those money habit archetypes that can be harnessed. You need to uncover the story that created it. You need to start to have an awareness and realize that you have been living a dream. There is a program running and you've been totally unconscious to it. You need to be able to release the emotional ties to that old story. That's important because that allows you to let it go and makes it so much easier to get to the fourth step, which is overriding the old program with a new one that sets you free. So I'd love you to just pause for a moment and have a think about what's your biggest aha so far. And share it with me in the chat box if you like, with a hashtag AHA. I'm just reading back over these comments about all those stories. Release the emotional ties to the old story. Yeah, that's a very important little piece of the puzzle, Leanne. Well picked up. I almost didn't put it in the slides because it's actually something that, you know, it's kind of the next level of work, but I want to make you aware of it, that that's going to be a factor. Susanna, not having a filter as a child and being hypnotized by their stories. Yes, always remember that. And a really good thing to just get in the habit of is to go, is this even my story? You know, is this even my story? Was it my parents? Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. So once you're free and you realize that you can write your own story, the world is your oyster. You get to become a money ninja who's clear and focused and feeling utterly deserving of success. And then you can get on with it. So your business can thrive. And so you can relax into that state of both inner and outer abundance. What would having a new program installed and being a money ninja look like for you? Take a moment to think about that. What would you want to be able to do? What would having a new program installed look like for you? Have a think about it. You need to start visualizing it. If you installed a new program, would you want to stop bullets with your mind? Or would you just want to get on with it and do all those things that you've been avoiding doing and feel confident and in control? What would it actually look like for you if you installed, if you could choose the program? Imagine you're like in a DVD store, which we don't have those really anymore, but imagine you're in this DVD store and you can pick the program you want to install. What does that program look like? What would you be able to do? Because you need to choose your new program. Ooh, Sarah, I'd want to ditch my whole business and do something completely different. Eck! Wow. I don't know if you saw that one coming. Deb says, I would have money confidence and systems in place, be feeling way more confident about money in my business. Kay says, I would enjoy working and stop procrastinating. Yeah, just enjoy it. You know, just enjoying it. I would start my new business, says Kelly. Yeah, exactly. I'd start choosing the program, guys, because that's all it is. You have to choose. I would delegate a whole lot more so I could focus on the fun stuff. Beautiful. Good stuff. Yes, start visualizing it because you've taken the first step. You're becoming aware of the pattern. You're realizing that it's a story, that there's some unconscious program running and that you can change that program. So start thinking about what is the program you actually want to change it to, because that's the key. At the end of the day, it's when you install the new program that everything changes. So you want to start looking towards that. You want to start focusing on that and move away from focusing on all the little bits of sabotaging stuff that's going on every day, because that's just keeping you stuck. So zoom out and start planning the new program. More positive about myself without being more critical of others. Awesome. Jackie, I would focus, stop procrastinating, doing so many things at one time and actually doing nothing. Anna says, just take the inspired action to create a business and life that is filled with fun, ease and joy. Beautiful. So yeah, I really want you to take a moment to just feel into that. Start, because you're the one who gets to create the program. Okay. So you have an understanding now of what your money habit archetype is and what kind of stories have created it. Your next steps will be to release the emotional ties to that old story. That really weakens the old story. And then to install that new program that you've just started designing already to override the old story. And this is what we're going to be doing in the 14-day intensive. It starts soon on April 20th. I'll tell you about it in a moment because the early bird is open now, but just for a couple of days. So we're also about to draw the 2 winners of a free spot on that intensive, which will be amazing because you get to start programming in that new story, that new pattern that you've just talked about. And those spots are valued at $199 US each. So have you decided, because this is where you start, have you decided which pill you're going to take? Will it be the red pill and you just go back to sleep, back into the dream, back into the sabotage, back into the day-to-day? Or have you decided to take the blue pill? And when you take the blue pill, that's a decision, right? And no matter what you do next, the decision is powerful because it means you will continue to awaken from the dream. You've made a decision to see the old program, to keep noticing it, and to consciously start to override it by installing a new program. But you need to make a decision, red pill or blue pill. Am I going to keep focusing on all the procrastination, all the things that are going wrong, all the sabotage, and how frustrating it is? That's the red pill. Puts you back into the dream. Because all those things that just exist to keep you stuck, reaching the same outcome over and over and over again. Or do you want to make a decision right now that you're taking that blue pill right now, and little by little, step by step, with whatever you can do with each step along the way, you're going to start seeing the old pattern, start seeing the old program. You know how when Neo takes the blue pill and he wakes up, he starts seeing the matrix all around? He starts seeing the programming. He starts seeing and noticing what he's doing, what the world around him is doing. It's really powerful stuff, because once you see past the illusion, then you've taken control, you've taken charge, and then you can take the next step from there. But that's the most important part. It really, really is. And people totally undervalue how important that is. If you don't make that decision, it doesn't matter what you do next. It really doesn't. You need to make that decision. But once you make that decision, there is no going back, because you will see the matrix, you will see the pattern. And little by little, you can choose how fast you go or how slow you go, but little by little, you will keep creating shifts. And that's the most important thing that I can say to you today, right? Now, if you want to take the blue pill and continue the journey with me, I would love that. And I'd love to invite you to join me in the 14-day intensive, because what we do there is you will get to dive deeper into understanding your money habit archetype so you can clear those old patterns. In the 14-day intensive, we use hypnosis to help you really see that matrix, to really see that code of the old program. And the moment you do that, you're no longer a victim running on autopilot. We employ really specific tools to help you release the emotional ties to that old money story, because you need to practice a couple of things that really help weaken it. That is the key to letting it go and leaving it behind forever. Letting go of the emotion, the emotional attachment to it. And then through the use of the hypnotic story process and hypnosis, you install a totally new and empowering money program, so you can become that money ninja. So how it all works, just very briefly, it happens over 2 consecutive weeks. We start with an orientation call to get you started. That's on April the 20th at 10 o'clock Sydney time. And that call is recorded in case you can't make it. Then we work together, and I continue to support you in a closed Facebook group as you move through this process step by step. At the halfway mark, we split up into small focus groups, and you jump on a live call with me where you each get some one-on-one time, where I will make sure that you have released that old money story and that you're totally primed and ready to install a new one. I'm going to make sure that you didn't just take the blue pill, but that you swallowed it and you actually digested it, because that's important, right? And then in the second week, you get to install the new program, your new money story. And we put together a simple plan that you then take away with you to make sure that you can keep wiring in that new program deeper and deeper as time goes on. So it becomes totally your new normal. And the old money story just becomes this distant, hazy memory. Now, with this intensive as a bonus, you get access to my Udemy course called Grow Your Business with Your Money Habit Archetype. That's valued at another $49.99. And the reason I give you that course is because we we use parts of that course in the intensive, but then you've got the whole course to keep afterwards. And that course is really designed to teach you how to tap into the hidden power of your money habit archetype so you can keep on growing your business. So the intensive is $199 US, but it's on early bird until 5 o'clock this Friday. So if you'd like to join me, then take advantage of the early bird. I will pop the link to it in the description. It's miriamcastilla.com/CYMB for clear your money blocks. So that's the link if you'd like to jump on it. Why isn't that hyperlinking? Let me do it again. So we start on the 20th. It's not hyperlinking. Don't know why. You might have to copy and paste it out. We start on the 20th and the early bird closes 5 o'clock this Friday, and then doors to it will close next Wednesday as well. So you don't have a huge amount of time to join us in that. We've already got a whole bunch of people enrolled in it, and it's something that we're doing on the back of the live round of Magnetic Money. And if you are a Magnetic Money student, then just a quick reminder, oh, it is clickable, cool, good to know. So just a reminder, if you are a Magnetic Money student, that you have your own code. I've put a post up in the Magnetic Money group for you. So if you've got any questions about that intensive, if you'd like to take the next step and join me in that so that we can make sure you've swallowed the blue pill, you're digesting it, and we help you install that new program, please let me know in the chat box. I'll be happy to answer any questions. And in the meantime, I'm going to draw the winners of those 2 free spots who are going to join me on the intensive. So I've got the entries here. Thank you so much to all of you who've entered the share challenge for helping me get the word out about today's training. And let me know in the chat box, number one, if you've got any questions about either the intensive or this training in particular, and also share your biggest aha. Very important that you share your biggest aha and what your intention is about moving forward. So I'm just going to hit the random number generator on random.org. Drum roll, please. And we're going to draw the names of 2 winners. The first one is Susanna Philby. Congratulations. I'm not sure if she's live on the call. Are you live on the call with me, Susanna? Well done. Woohoo. You get to join us on the Clear Your Money Blocks Intensive. And I'm going to draw another winner. So let me generate another number again. Random. Oh, you're here. Cool. Congratulations, Susanna. And the second winner is number 18 on my list, Sarah Greenwood. Yoo-hoo! Well done, Sarah. Yay. Good stuff. Congratulations, Sarah, and congratulations, Susanna. So the best way for you guys to get all signed up and hooked up is, can you send a message to my Facebook page, please? We will message you and send you some details, but if you message us, it's always much easier because sometimes Facebook doesn't let us connect very easily. We'll enroll you, we'll send you your enrollment details and all the rest of it, but we want to make sure that you receive it. So if you could please message my Miriam Castilla Effectologist Facebook page, then we'll make sure that we get you all signed up and enrolled properly. So I'm going to stay on to answer any questions if there are any. Otherwise, I will let you all go. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're joining us in the Clear Your Money Blocks Intensive, please remember that the early bird ends this Friday, 5 o'clock Sydney time, and then doors will close next week, next Wednesday at 5 o'clock, and we start really soon on the 20th. So I look forward to that. It's going to be absolutely awesome. I ran this intensive last year and it was just really cool. So whether you're in Magnetic Money or not, this is an amazing way to spend 2 weeks with me to really dive deep and make sure that you've totally released that old story and you've grabbed a hold of it, installed that new one. Enjoyed today? Awesome. If you've got any questions, type them in quickly for me so that I know that it's there. And if not, then I will close up the call and let you get on with your beautiful day. Thank you again. Keep on embracing your amazingly unlimited potential. Keep taking the blue pill at every opportunity and have a great day. I'm going to wave goodbye. Bye, everybody. See ya.